A very good morning, students. Welcome to your business studies class. Today we will be starting with a new chapter, chapter number 5, organizing. Before starting with the chapter, let us first have a look on the topics to be covered in this chapter. So we will be doing the concept of organizing, process of organizing, that is the steps in the organizing process, then importance of organizing, organizational structure. We have two types of organizational structure, divisional and functional structure. So we will be doing the divisional structure, its advantages and disadvantages, functional structure, its advantages and disadvantages. Then types of organization, we have two types of organization, formal and informal organization. Then delegation of authority. In this delegation of authority, we will be doing the concept of delegation of authority, elements of delegation and importance of delegation. And the last topic of this chapter is decentralization of authority, in which we will be doing the importance of decentralization of authority. Now let us start with the meaning of organizing. Now, organizing is the second function of management. Once the plans have been drawn in the first step of the management function, that is in planning, now the management has to identify and establish productive relationship amongst the various activities and resources required for implementing the plan. So this is the function of organizing. So we can say that once the plans have been laid down and objectives specified therein, now the next step in the management function is to organize resources in a manner which leads to the accomplishment of objectives. The activities of an enterprise must be organized in such a manner that plans can be successfully implemented. This function of management ensures that the efforts are directed towards the achievement of goals laid down by the organization in the planning function in such a manner that we are not wasting the resources, or we can say that we are optimally utilizing the resources, whether it is your physical resources, whether it is your human resources or financial resources, so that the work can be done collectively and effectively for a common purpose. So it means for translating the plans into action, that means whatever plans we have made in the first function of management, that is planning, now we are trying to translate those plans into action. So it decides who will do a particular task, where it will be done and when it will be done. So we can see the definition of organizing, that organizing is the process of identifying and grouping the various activities, bringing together physical, financial and other resources, and establishing authority relationship among job positions. According to Louis Allen, organizing is the process of identifying and grouping the work to be performed, defining and delegating responsibility and authority, and establishing relationship for the purpose of enabling people to work most effectively together in accomplishing objectives. So in a nutshell, we can say that whatever plans we have made in the first process of management, that is planning, now it is the time that we work for that plan and we gather, we identify and group various activities, and we bring together our resources, physical, financial and other resources, and then we establish the authority responsibility relationship, that who will be responsible to whom, who is having authority. So that is done in the second process of management, that is organizing. Steps in the process of organizing. So now we will be discussing the various steps that comes under the process of organizing. The very first step in the process of organizing is identification and division of work. So first of all, we identify the various work that has to be done, and then we divide those work according to the specialization. Then next step is departmentalization. That means we club or combine or group the similar related jobs into a larger units called departments. Then after this departmentalization, we assign or allocate the work to the employees according to their experience, skills and capabilities. And after this, there is an establishment of reporting relationship. That means from whom an employee has to receive an order or instruction, and to whom he is accountable or answerable for his job of responsibilities. So one by one we will discussing these steps in the process of organizing. Step number 1, identification and division of work. Now, the process of organizing begins with the identification and division of work. That is, the total work to be done should be divided into specific jobs as according to the predetermined plans. Now, what is this job? A job is a set of related tasks that can be performed by an individual. It should have a specific and definite task to be performed. As far as possible, it should define expected results along with the jobs. Division of work, as we know, that specialization of efforts and skills, and it helps in avoiding the duplication of work. So management must ensure that all the activities required to achieve organizational objectives are identified. So first we need to identify that what job is to be performed, and then we divide those jobs according to the specialization of the employees, which helps in avoiding the duplication of work and wastage of resources. For example, in a bank you must have seen that there is a different departments and each individual is performing their jobs of responsibility. For example, cash clerks are accepting the cash and giving cash. Then the loan officers are processing the loans application and sanctioning the loans, and so on. So this is what that means. The bank has identified that what work is to be done, and then they have divided the work according to the specialization of the employees. Step number 2 is departmentalization. Now, once we have identified the work to be performed and division of work has been done, now the second step in the organizing process is to grouping similar and related jobs into larger units called departments, divisions or sections, and placing them under a department head, which facilitates specialization. For example, we have different departments in the organization, let's say production department, sales department, finance department, human resource department. So all what we have done, we have grouped the similar related job. That means all the production related works comes under your production department, sales related works comes under your sales department, and so on. And then all these departments are headed by an individual person who is known as a departmental head. Let's say the production department is headed by the production manager, the sales department is headed by the sales manager. Now these departments are linked together and they are interdependent. Let's say the finance department is linked with the sales department or the production department. The sales department is also linked with the production department. So all these departments are interlinked, and they have to work in coordination so that they can achieve their goals, and it facilitates the unity of action also. Now these departments can be created on the basis of first functions. For example, finance department for financing activity, production department for production activities, sales department for sales activity. Then they can be divided or created on the basis of the products. For example, textile, chemical, power division, etc. Then they can be divided on the basis of the territories also, west, east, north, south, etc. So this is what is your departmentalization. That means grouping similar and related jobs into a larger unit called departments and placing them under a departmental head. Step number 3 is assignment of duties. So after departmentalization, the next step is to define the work of different job positions and allocate work accordingly amongst the employees on the basis of their experience, skills and competencies. Now once the departments are framed, the department is placed under the charge of an individual who is known as the head of the department. Then the jobs are assigned to an individual best suited to perform it. It is on the basis of their qualification, experience, abilities and aptitudes. So we can say that qualification, experience, ability and aptitude of the people should be matched with their duties. That means whatever duties we are assigning to our employees, it should match with their qualification, experience, ability and aptitude. For example, let's say the activities of finance should be assigned to the person having qualification and experience in finance, for example CA. So we cannot assign the finance related work to a person who is not having any experience of finances. So that means whenever we are assigning the duties, so we have to keep in mind that it should match with the experience, abilities and qualification of the person. The last step in the organizing process is establishing reporting relationship. Now, only assignment of work is not enough. The next step in this process is to granting requisite authority to enable the employees to perform the job which has been assigned to them satisfactorily. Superior subordinate relationships are created between different people, and the job positions are created so that everybody in the organization knows from whom he has to take the orders and to whom he can issue the orders. That means who is responsible to whom and who is answerable to whom and who is having how much of authority. It creates management hierarchy, which is a chain of command that flows from the top manager to the individual at the lowest level, and it helps in the coordination amongst the various departments also. So, to sum up, we have done today the meaning of organizing, which is identifying and grouping the various activities, bringing together physical, financial and other resources, and establishing authority relationship among the job positions. Then we had discussed the steps in the in the organizing process, that is identification and division of work, then departmentalization, after departmentalization assignment of duties, and then establishing reporting relationship. Now these are few questions based on today's topic. I hope you understood today's topic. If you are having any doubt, we can discuss your doubts in our class. Thank you so much, children.